Today, I'll be speaking with KC Sounds. He's a music producer from Nottingham. He's a husband, he's a father, but also a man who took the leap to solidify his steps in his music career. First show, so please drop your likes, drop a comment below if you enjoyed it, but also subscribe. Got plenty more shows to come, but this is the first one, so good luck for me. Enjoy. How you doing?
What's happening, bro? You good?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
It's been a minute. You've been on Radio Fuzar 97.1 before. We did a interview over the phone, if I remember right.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
How's it been?
Yeah, good. Just building. Constantly working on music and getting in the studio with artists and helping them to create their music and get it out there to the world.
I've seen you've been very active the past couple of years. You're really consistent in regards to what you do. You're always sharing techniques online. You're always working with new artists. You're active.
Yeah, it's important. It's important to be active because if an artist is looking for music or someone to work on their music with them, it doesn't make sense for them to go into my social media pages and see that I'm not active.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to be active. That's the way I see it anyway. There's no point in having like 6-month-old posts of you doing stuff because then they're not going to be interested in working with you. There's so many other people that they can go and work with, so for me I have to be consistent and always doing stuff so people can see.
It's difficult being consistent. So somebody said to me, it's very easy to be bad, hard to be good. So the consistency part of it is the hard part, I think. So whether it's going to the gym, whether it's putting the work in the studio or just your general work, to then sit back and just kind of lose that workflow a little bit, it can be quite easy to do.
Yeah,
so the hard part is being good.
Yeah.
What do you think to that kind of thought?
The barrier of entry is low in it, so anyone can have a computer and have a few loops and say that they're a producer. So for you to be good, you have to put the work in, you have to put the hours in. So for me, I'm thinking if I'm at home chilling, there's other people out there working in it, so I have to stay consistent. And it's what I do every day, it's what I do for a living, so kind of like no days off. Do you know what I'm saying? If I'm not working or trying to market somehow, then I feel like I'm wasting time. I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be like you taking a day off sick, I suppose.
Yeah. And I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah. So I suppose it depends on what your priority is. You know, you have you may have a workflow or a work stream, let's say, that might just be putting a roof over your head, but you've got one direct channel where it might be a serious hobby. So you might, I don't know, there's different priorities, isn't there, depending on what you're doing. So I suppose because it is kind of your main role.
Yeah.
Do you do this full time now?
Yeah, this is full time now, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember doing some work back with you many years ago, many moons. But that's amazing for you to kind of be able to...
Yeah, it's been a gradual process.
Make it your thing.
It's been a while. It's took me a while to get to this point. When I used to work in sales, this is something that I've always dreamt of doing, do you know what I'm saying? So to be able to do that now, it's kind of like when I went back to my old workplace, I realised that I'm doing what I was dreaming about doing, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it just happens bit by bit, day by day, just working on it to the point where you can say, yeah, this is me full time. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing. To take the leap. Did you feel scared, or did you feel kind of any kind of anxiety going into it? And
yeah, because it's a case of I'll go to work and I'll be like, God, you know what? I need a way out of this place. Like, show me a sign of if I'm ready to take the leap. And you get a sign. Yeah, no, give me another sign because I'm not too sure yet. There's another sign. So it got to a point where I was at this sales advisor job and I was working there for like nearly 14 years. And we got made redundant. So it was like, okay. I see the sign now. Do you know
So
what I'm
that
saying?
helped?
Yeah, 100%.
And that was the sign from God?
What else could I do? Do you know what I'm saying? It's not. I didn't wanna be doing that job. It's not like I hated it. It's just it wasn't me. I didn't want to do that. I knew music was me. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why when that opportunity came up and I got made redundant, yeah, it's just a no-brainer.
I believe this is like a inbuilt survival kind of method or technique that happens inside the body where you to take that leap. It takes a lot to do that. Once you've done that, I suppose there's another survival technique that comes into your body that must work in the system, that I have to make this work.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about being consistent. You're there now, so you can't stop. This is when the work starts. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, there's something in you. You just know that you have to make it work.
You have to make it work.
Mouths to feed. You've got bills to pay. And it's like you don't really want, when you're working with artists, to come across that all you want to do is just take their money, because that's not the way to do things. The money will come. You got to enjoy it. You got to be passionate about it. Otherwise, there's no point. That's how I see it anyway. You have to have that passion, because if I didn't have that passion, I would have gave up ages ago and gone on to do something else.
What type of person is it that to take that leap? What type of examples do you need to have? What type of inner strengths do you need to have to be able to go, right, okay, I am making that leap today?
I feel like you need to have some real belief in yourself to want to do that, because it's not for everyone. You have to have a good support network. Luckily for me, got a wife where she was 100% supportive, is 100% supportive in what I do.
That's important.
100%.
Because when you go home and have the certain conversations like, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that leap, and it's all in my hands now to kind of put it all together, make it work for not only yourself but for the family as well. It's a serious conversation.
It is. And if your other half, your partner, is not on that, they're
on
saying
board.
No. Yeah, if they're not on board, then they're going to be. It's going to make you feel like, you know what, I don't know if I should be really doing this, because if they're doubting me, then what's the point? But I'm not saying that there ain't people who don't have that support and still have got that mindset that I'm going to make this happen regardless. It's kind of like, I'm going to show you that I'm going to do this. And then when you get to that point, it'll be like, yeah, see, I told you it's going to work. So yeah, it's a case of just having that self-belief and just God, just having God and your belief systems to make it happen.
How long have you been in the industry itself, the music industry?
Well, I started in 2001, just making beats on the PlayStation, which was what's it called again? Music Generator 2. Don't know if you heard of it.
I remember that.
Yeah, just pasting blocks, and that's probably my first start to music, to getting into producing and stuff like that. So when you say in the industry, if you want to look at it from that starting point, then 2001.
Wow. Because I do remember some of your music well before I knew you, from a few different artists in Nottingham at that point. Yeah, and I think it was around that time, if I can remember. Well, actually, it might have been a little bit later.
Well, I come up
slightly.
there 2005, and then I went to Confetti, and then 2008 I done a degree in Leicester, Leeds, and I think it was around 2011 was the point where I said I want to start putting myself out there. So it might have been around the time where you seen some
probably
of my
would have
earlier
heard.
works, yeah.
So I just want to dive a bit deep.
Let's go.
What projects have you got on? Like, if you just give us a bit of a general view of basically what you do on a day-to-day basis, firstly, and also what projects have you got on, and if you can discuss any challenges and barriers that you may face on a day-to-day.
Daily, for me, I'm always working on someone's music. If it's not an artist's music, then I'm working on my music. I'm working on content for my YouTube channel. I'm working on content for my Instagram page, and always like looking for artists to work with, or market myself so artists can see what I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm more of an inbound marketer. I don't know if you know inbound and outbound. So an inbound marketer is someone who just creates content
Okay.
so people can see what they do, rather than being an outbound where I'm going to people's DMs and saying, "Oh, I'm a music producer.
Right,
Listen to
okay.
my beats."
Massive difference.
I don't like that. I'm not saying it's wrong for people to do that, because that's how some people like to work and bring money in and work in. So I'm not knocking it, but for me, I prefer to just be more of a subtle marketer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And on a day-to-day basis, what type of challenges or barriers would you face doing that to try to get in touch with people, or just even with the craft of making music on a day-to-day basis?
I think the challenges come with imposter syndrome. Sometimes I think to myself, am I good enough to do this? Do you know what I mean? I listen to other people's music and I think, why doesn't mine sound like that? Or what is it that I'm doing wrong? And you can kind of get into your own head and start to, the doubt starts to creep in.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, if you've got a support network and you've got someone to talk to, they can get you back up to where you're supposed to be.
So is there any fellow producers that you might reach out to maybe get a bit of a, this is what I'm doing, what do you think to it? Or you can talk about, it seems a bit quiet with work. Is there anybody else? Is there like a network of people that you could speak to?
No, not really. I don't really speak to anyone.
Okay.
Like no other producers about what I'm doing. I just look, and I'm very observant. I just see what's going on and what's popping, what could be done better. What was the other thing you said, sir?
Just the barriers that you may face.
Yeah, when work dries up and stuff like that. So there could be a case of you have some really good months where work's just coming in all the time, and then obviously it dries up because it's a business. It dries up certain months, weeks or whatever. During them times, what I like to do is just focus more on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And just put more content out on that. So, because sometimes when I'm trying to do my YouTube videos, I'll get a lot of work in, so it's hard to juggle everything and be consistent.
Going on that, actually, talking about algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've spoken to quite a few people that have got channels and even some of the people that I follow. And there seems to be like a bit of a war with like algorithms. So like, there will be somebody who, it's almost, you may get pushed on algorithms to create a certain type of video or subject, which is not necessarily boding with you. It's not your thing, but you have to do it to fit into the algorithm to then be seen. And I've seen that a lot recently, where people actually have to switch up what they're doing, and they're not actually happy, and they're actually now thinking that I might go back to my original self where I was, and I don't care if I don't get as many views, or I don't care if I don't get seen a certain way, but at least I'm being myself. Have you seen that about anywhere, or do you feel that's, as you post a lot?
Yeah, because with Insta now, everything's reels. And I see a lot of producers and they're smashing it out. Their reels are just original and creative, and I'm sitting there thinking, I like what they're doing, but I don't feel like it's me. And for me to be a part of that community or to be seen, you have to do a little bit of that. But I just feel like you have to stay true to yourself. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're just gonna end up getting burnt out or just feeling that you're losing yourself. So I just do what I feel like I want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not fussed about the likes at all. The likes is not going to pay you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's you being consistent, doing what you love, being true to yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? You can have 3 likes on a post, but you get a DM from someone saying, "Yeah, I just seen your video. Let's work." You've had 3 likes. So what does the likes mean? Yeah, it's nice that you're reaching more people, but the way that the algorithm works now, it looks like you have to pay for a blue badge.
Yes, the good old blue badge. The reason I say this, I've seen that it was a review of a product where somebody was reviewing a monitor, a high quality editing monitor, and
the person who the person who was doing the review would put almost like his life on this is the best product you've ever seen in your life, and he was explaining the product itself or the specs and how it benefits that person, and that he would not choose anything else. 2 weeks later, the same person has got a different monitor,
and he likes that one,
and the old monitor, which is kind of a new monitor, is not even discussed.
Okay.
So it seemed like that product's been pushed, and we've all been kind of sucked into it. It might have even generated sales, etc. But it just shows you like the power of like that one thing that you've just seen.
Yeah.
And then for somebody to then switch it up and go, okay, well, this one's better now.
Yeah. The thing is, I've reviewed a lot of monitors. I've reviewed plugins and stuff like that. And I've worked with a lot of brands who sponsor my videos and stuff. And for me, it's all about being authentic, because I'm not gonna show my audience a plugin that I've used if I'm not feeling it.
If you're not going to use it yourself.
If I'm not using it, if I'm not feeling it, because I feel it will come across in my video.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be that person where they say, oh, you know what, I've watched these review videos and you don't seem genuine. But there's so much different monitors and stuff out there. Like I've had a few monitors from Cali Audio, and different size woofers.
Oh, sorry, we're talking about speakers, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was talking about a screen, but sorry, Karen.
And they do genuinely sound good.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm listening to them, like, yeah, this is alright. And then I listen to the next one, I'm like, no, this one's good. And I think there's just levels to the monitors that I'm reviewing, and at the time, how I feel they sound. That's how I will review my video.
There's a lot of power in this media thing, isn't there?
Yeah.
For what we see, what is your thoughts around kind of the influencing scene and kids looking into like a certain idea, but the influencers probably. So I'll give you. It's probably best to put it in an example where, I don't know, a younger guy's seen this guy going to a basketball game. He's bought himself the jersey, the Jordans, the everything, the ticket and everything. And he's saying that he's going to go. So he's all like dressed up. 9 times out of 10, the person's probably not even going there.
Yep.
And the Jordans and the top are just going to go back to the shop for a refund. But that younger lad who's looking at that video thinking, oh, I want to do that, I want to be that. In fact, I need to ask my mum and dad for this.
Yeah. It's I've seen that a lot. People getting dressed up saying they're going to clubs and they're going nowhere.
They're just going to be at home.
But the thing is, with that, you just lying to yourself. So what's the point in that, just for a few likes or for people to think that you're doing more than you say you're doing? Because at the end of it, you're there with your own thoughts. And I feel that's going to eventually make you depressed, because you're pretending to be something that you're not. And I understand the whole fake it till you make it thing. That works to a point. But if you're lying to yourself, then you're doing yourself no favours. And then, like you said, you're an influencer, and people are looking up to you, younger ones, but you're not being true.
For a growing mind, I think that would impact one's growth quite a bit, because you are continuously looking for the next thing. And I suppose growing up like that, when you start, getting out of that, young child mentality, and you get to that adult life, and if you still are living that way, I don't think it's gonna.
No, it's not gonna hold up well, is it at all?
It's not really gonna be great. Right, we'll go back on a little bit about the music. So, the approach of 2024 around music, and the pandemic slope, if there was any, on your side. So, I think the first question is: Did the pandemic kind of slow down on your efficiencies of being a producer, or did it actually give you more time to create more music?
So I thought, when the pandemic started, I thought that was it for me.
Right.
yeah, I thought everything would just dry up. No one's gonna really wanted to do music, but it had the complete opposite. Everyone's at home now; they've got time to create. Do you know what I'm saying? So it actually helped me. And I was still doing the sales advisor job at that point. I'm in an hour whether or not I should do this full time. So when that happened, I was like, I don't even need to be here no more. So it had a positive effect for me, which I didn't expect, and yeah, that helped to boost everything for me.
I feel the impacts of the pandemic has affected a lot of people's mental health, and either it's going to take a long time to kind of get past that in regards to getting back to normality, but then we think and we say, what is normality? There's a bit of a kind of, I think there's a crowd of people that have gone, right, that's finished, I'm going to crack on, I've got things to do. And I believe there's also a crowd that have kind of taken away some of the benefits, like working from home, for instance, and go, right, okay, I am not stepping back into work unless I'm almost losing my job almost. And that's why I wanted to kind of gauge a little bit and dive deep with you regarding your producing. So I don't know, did you feel like you wanted to, as soon as you could, go out a little bit more, or did you feel like, no, I'm all right, I'm still here, I'm doing my studio thing?
Do you know what? It's funny, because I seen some posts and it was said something like, I've been doing isolation this whole time. So me being in the studio every day, it's nothing new. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I've been doing this. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It didn't really affect me like that. I mean, it's obviously not being able to do certain things when you come out of your house and the social distancing and stuff like that, then that was different. But there's me being in the studio, normal.
Just want to touch on tech slightly. So that the industry is constantly improving something.
Yeah.
To put it in an example, that anything, I'm quite techie, so anything that was new, even if it was upgrading the size of my TV, I think we're just, as humans, in now times, we just want almost like the newest, bestest thing all the time, regarding everything. It seems like, anyway. With the technological advances in 2024, the production techniques that have kind of really improved vastly, do you find that as a benefit, or do you kind of still use like kind of the old school techniques?
In regards to software, I still use some old style software. I think if you get into the chasing the newest thing to come out, you're always going to be upgrading, you're always going to be chasing, so you have to get to a point where, does this suit my workflow? Do I need to upgrade? Do I need this new bit of kit? Shiny object syndrome, I don't know if you heard of that, but it's a case of where you see something new and you feel like you need to get it.
That's me, again, with the TVs.
I hear that. I used to do that with plugins. Like, I was just scrolling through looking for the newest plugins, thinking, I need that new compressor because it's going to make my music sound amazing, I need this, I need that. And you don't. You just need to learn what you've got. In terms of hardware, I bought a Mac Studio the other day, and it was the M1 chip, and if I'd waited a little bit longer, I could have got the M2. I done a whole video on YouTube talking about it. People was like, why didn't you just wait for the M2? The M3's coming out soon, blah blah. I'm like, well, I had the budget for this and I wanted it now, so I'm stuck with it for a bit. I could sell it and get the M2, but I don't need to, because it does what I need it to do. It's quick, I can get my work done, so I'm not chasing that.
I think one of the things I found quite useful in the pandemic, when I say useful, it was easy to work with when I had to share files and do some music production with whoever I needed to. It wasn't about, right, I'm going to come to your studio, or I'll meet you over there and we can do this and we can do that. You know, the way the internet is set up, the way we can send files and kind of work separately, however still collectively as a team, remotely. I believe people embrace that a lot more now.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, definitely. I've worked with one artist client there in London. I probably worked with them for about 5-7 years. I've never met them, and we work all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like back and forth with emails and voice notes and DMs. So the remote work for me, I've got like, I'd say probably about 80, 85, 90%
Wow.
is remote.
Remotely.
Yeah.
And that's what I suppose, makes you more productive in one way, because imagine if you had to do the visits or go to the studio for each time that you're working with somebody. How many man hours is that? How much money is it in transport?
Yeah, it's nice to be in the studio with artists and producers because it's a different vibe, isn't it? So being able to do that, it's nice. But the remote work, working remotely, it kind of just makes that null and void, really, because you don't have to do that. You can FaceTime. I've had artists come and record, and they'll be FaceTiming someone in Nigeria, and they're like, that's their producer, but he's telling them how to sing certain parts. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's workarounds. And my mum was saying, "Oh, you need to be in London because you get a lot more work." And I didn't explain to her that the work that I do, I don't really need to do that. A lot of work comes in remote.
It takes a bit of time to explain to others, I suppose,
They don't understand.
to say that they just don't understand that you can do it. You know, you can do it. And I think, you know, what you kind of said at the beginning about taking that leap and having that resilience to go, no, this is going to work out. I feel it's really important. And I think others will only see when the results are there.
Yeah, and I think with the pandemic and people being at home and stuff, they realised the work-life balance, working Monday to Friday, and then you've got your little weekend. Well, not your little, but you've got the weekend, which just goes so fast. You're thinking, is this, like, do I really want to be doing this the whole time? And then because of the pandemic, a lot of people have realised I can drop a day, or I can just do 3 days, work on my side hustle, build that up, and then just take the leap.
If you are enjoying the podcast, please like and share, subscribe, and all the rest. It's a brand new podcast, and yeah, it's kicking off, but it won't be nothing without you guys' help. So please like and share, subscribe, dive deep, keep listening.
Right, so I wanted to kind of touch on some of the, I would say, benefits, health benefits around music. So I did read something actually, and it was just talking about the physical effects. So as an example here, this is a study from Music Guard. Drummers are really enthusiastic performers, as we know, as when they play their instrument. And it affects their cardio exercise. In fact, it says in the study of 2008, found that drummers are fitter than Premier League footballers. 90 minutes of drumming can raise their heart rate as much as 190 BPM.
That's a lot. It's interesting.
Like, they must have to really be going in on the drums to do that. Not only that, things like posture, so it can improve your posture. So if you're playing guitar and you're playing it in the right way, if you're your main instrument,
I'd say keys.
Yeah. So I suppose because you do it so much, you've got to have the right posture. You've got to be right there.
Yeah, you have to, but then you can get kind of lazy, and when you're sitting at a desk all day, your back starts to ache, so you have to get up and do a couple of stretches and whatnot. But yeah, it's important, definitely.
Yeah, it's important to stretch out. Blood pressure also lowers blood pressure. So playing music can lower blood pressure and reduce your heart rate. Studies have shown that slow and calming orchestral music has the most positive impact on your heart health, and can even be used to reverse blood pressure problems at pre-medication stage, which there is a bit of a sense there, really, because depends on what genre I suppose you listen to. I suppose if you listen to some rock music, you're not looking to calm your blood pressure down.
Listen, on the way here, I was listening to Badders.
Okay.
And the mood that got me in, the driving's different to when you be listening to some slow jams. You know what I'm saying? So the music has an effect on you. The frequencies, drill music, 808s, has an effect on you.
Regarding frequency, so there is a certain frequency that can do different things.
Yeah,
So one of them is like a healing
yeah.
frequency. I'm not too sure about the hertz.
I can't remember the top of my head, but there is it binaural beats or something it's called? Different frequencies that you can listen to. It's all on YouTube. Calming frequencies and healing frequencies.
There's a certain number, isn't it?
Yeah.
After that,
There's a brown note frequency as well, which I won't go into, but you can understand what that would do to your insides.
wow, really, really important. I think thinking about different genres of music, do you, when it comes down to your own listening pleasure, is it just the one type of genre you listen to, or if so, what are you listening to? What's in that Spotify list, if there is?
My music taste is wild. There's the songs where I'll listen to where you can't play around the man them,
Okay.
like your Dells and your Lewis Capaldi's and that. I'll listen to that. Do you know what I'm saying?
When do you listen to that then?
But when I'm in the studio, I listen to everything, classical, rap, hip hop, rock. If it's good, it's good. That's how I see it. Wide taste.
I would say I've got quite a wide range of music taste, to be fair. And as you mature in life, I think you allow certain things to come in and you enjoy certain music genres, or or even songs that you didn't when you were like, in your 20s, just say.
I think it's kind of influence as well. What's your mates listening to? Do you know what I'm saying? You might not want to play that around them, or I just feel as a producer it's important to listen to different types of music, especially when you get into a beat block and you've got no ideas and you're just making the same music. Listening to other styles of music, it can spark inspiration. So how the melody is, you might just take that and take the melody and add some hip hop drums or drill drums, and it works. So that you can draw inspiration from different genres.
Where does the beat block come from? Like, so I get it's tied in with being creative and having ideas, and having less or loss of ideas is going to make you think, right, I haven't got it today. I'll put the pen down. Where would you think like it comes from in the brain though? Because there's nothing else really like it in life. It's not like you.
I don't know. I think sometimes when you're trying to force something, it doesn't work. So if you say to yourself, I want to make a hit, or you heard a song or a beat and you think, I want to make something like that, and you go into the studio and you try and do it and you're forcing it, it's not going to happen. So sometimes you have to step away because you have got beat block, and then I don't know, you can go for a walk, drive, play computer or whatever, and then you get some ideas will just come flowing in. So it's kind of like being in a flow state. So I don't know if you've ever worked on something and you're just really into it, and then someone comes and disturbs you and you try to go back to it and you can't because you've been out of that flow state. So it's about just locking into that flow state and not trying to force things.
I've done quite a lot of reading recently, and I've been, listening to, reading some kind of Buddhist readings, and was talking about goals, and it's about thinking, and generally we have like two main goals. So we have inspirational goals and we have desperational goals. Yeah. So the inspired goals are going to be something that you are really looking forward to. So it will be about finishing that beat tonight because you're so excited to give it back to the client. Yeah. So they come back to you and you're like, add this to it, or it could be a project that you're working on, and it just excites you in the mental. So that goal, it's going to inspire you to get to the end of it. The desperation part of it is that it might be that there's a job that you're currently working, however, you're looking to change. So it's a goal, but it doesn't give you the same excitement as the inspirational goal. And I think with like being inspired and having that block, I was thinking of it in that way of, do I really want to get to the end of this?
Yeah.
Or is it just because I need to do it?
Yeah. I feel like it shows in your work as well. If you're not really feeling the work,
Exactly.
it's not going to come at your best.
Mm.
But like you say, if you're excited to get it done,
Mm.
then yeah, it just comes out in your music, doesn't it?
It's like writing a book. You could spend one day every single day of the year to write one page, or you could spend 30 days a month to write the same book.
Yeah.
What's going to make more of an impact, what's going to have more depth.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that you've taken your time with,
Mm.
but at the same time it's inspirational to you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on nutrition and fitness as well. So I know you have been training
Mhm.
for a long time,
Yeah.
because I can remember many moons back, you were very busy in the gym. I remember seeing you with your bag and you used to train early.
Still do.
What time?
About 5:30 in the morning, Monday and Tuesdays, and then Thursday, Friday afternoon.
Are you still, so you still have that same regime?
Yeah, still. I've got to, sitting down at a desk all day, you have to do something. I don't play football no more because of injuries and stuff. Otherwise I'll still be playing. So if I don't go to the gym, then it's going to get a bit messy.
How much of a strong mentality do you need to have around having that regime there, along with your working routine? Do you have to set, have you got to set these kind of small inspirational goals throughout the week to say, right, I have to get there? Because I know for myself, I train, have had a bit of an injury and I've been on holiday. There's my two excuses, but I'm going to be back on. And sometimes I think the routines are, it can be difficult.
That's it. You know what it is? It's three things.
Mm-hmm.
Routine, discipline, and lifestyle. You've got to have the discipline, otherwise you're not going to get it done. The routine, I like routines, and if my routine's off, I don't feel good. You know what I'm saying? I like routines. I like my Monday and Tuesday gym days, and then being able to come back and do work. And then the third thing is a lifestyle.
Mm.
That's how you live your life. It's not just, you're not just doing it for the day or for the week.
Mm. That desperation goal again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, I've got to do it, but
just to tick it off.
Yeah,
yeah. No.
It's not actually fulfilling your purpose of doing that action, is it? Really, like to fully get through and completing that action.
Exactly.
How does that? Do you feel freshed? So when I say, you wake, if you're in there at 5:30 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
you've done what you need to do. How do you fuel the body for them to get home and be, I suppose, in an indoor environment to then crack on? It's not like you're outside and like you automatically get woken up by the air. Is there anything that you have to do to keep yourself awake almost?
Well, training releases endorphins, so automatically you're going to feel good. So if you're having a bad day, I would say go to the gym, do a little workout, and see how you feel afterwards, because you're going to feel good. For me, I just go there, put my headphones on, world off, do my little routine, come out, I'm ready for the day.
Are you on any specific diets or anything?
I'm not. I used to drink a lot of protein shakes, powders and stuff like that, and creatine and BCAAs, but I'm not at the moment. It's mostly just eating good food, because gym is one thing, but then it's your diet as well. You have to be eating the right things. I don't know if you've seen is it Uncle Abu, Eddie Abu, on Insta. You need to check him out. He's doing really well. He's just telling everyone what to eat, showing people what ingredients is in certain things, but he has a way of.
I have seen him.
Yeah, you must have seen.
I have seen him.
Yeah.
Got a beard.
Yeah. Yeah, him.
Is it quite I think a minefield out there with your do's and don'ts and who to listen to and who not to, and that, for me, I believe it's all the tools are out there. I think it's up to you who you want to listen to, and there's enough out there for you to make a conscious decision that this is the life I want to do it in this way. and not get too confused with everything else. So I think that comes with time as well.
Yeah, it does. I think it's more of a case of you just vibing with someone, because like you said, there's so much info out there, and anyone can say anything online. Whether or not it's true is a different thing, so that's up to you to decipher that and see if that works for you.
Mm.
I listen to a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of podcasts, a lot of self-help, and not that I've narrowed it down to my favourite few, but when someone starts talking, you can just kind of tell from their vibe whether they're just doing it for doing its sake. You know what I'm saying? So you can just lock that one off and then just find someone who's a bit more decent.
But for a younger man, younger lady, you know, this can be quite a tough choice unless you've got people around you to say that, look, you know, it's great, but believe me, with my experience, so it might be your older brother or older sister, and there's that balance, I think, and a bit of a battle between, the information's new and fresh out there. You've been around me the whole of your life. I'm not going to listen to you almost. So I feel it can be a bit of a confusing matrix for the young people out there as well.
Yeah, because you could have people around you who've known you for years. It could even be family, friends, and it's not always. They don't always want the best for you. Sometimes they want you to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like you said, you have to kind of work out what's right for you, what to listen to, who to take in, and sometimes just let people talk because they like to talk.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Any hints and tips that you can give to any up and coming young producers who want to get in the game? So not only about music, but just to generally keep the mental health going in the right direction, and so they can still keep productive in the actual trade itself.
Yeah, mental health is key. It's probably one of the biggest things. You need to stay on top of that. If you're going through tough times, talk to someone. It's okay to talk. It's okay to not be okay. In regards to your mental health and music, it can also be an outlet. Creating. You know what I'm saying? So
I just got goosebumps when you said that. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing what you've said. I think we may not talk as much as we need to. And I think we should make ourselves available more.
Definitely.
And that's not in a way of, right, I'm going out tonight and put your best dress on. We're going to paint the towels red. What I mean is that sometimes you might have to sit in the mud with your friends. So they might be going that, feeling a little bit low, or they just want to talk. And I think just that ear is enough sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Like just holding it all in, not talking, it can make it worse because you start to overthink. Like I've been through periods of depression, especially like in my younger years, and rather than talking, I just bottled it all up, and I'm an overthinker, so it makes it worse. And then if you're doing other things that alters your mind as well, it can make it worse. So being able to express yourself and open up to someone is key. I think we should just normalise, especially in the males, being able to talk to each other and say, bro, I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with opening up and talking. And I think the way things are now, I think it's getting to a point where that narrative is being pushed, and everyone is starting to think, yeah, it's okay for me to open up. It's okay to talk to my boy and say, I'm struggling. That's how it should be.
I've noticed that more actually online, where people are saying, I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
hearts on the
hearts on the Texas.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, you'd be like, what are you doing? What's that?
Yeah, that's it's a funny one. Definitely 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we would have been able to do that anyway, unless we was using
For
old apps.
I don't think they had the red heart, did they?
No red hearts, no.
You had to draw it, put a 3 and a little cursor.
But yeah, I think speaking out is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
I think whichever way you need to communicate. Some people don't like to talk, or they might just want to text. I think just being there and being available for somebody is just really key. The last thing I just wanted to touch with you is kind of more about any specific stuff in music. So we're talking about AI.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about ghostwriting, things like this. So I did watch one video that went viral, and it was a well-known artist who has been doing some ghostwriting for somebody, and they've been exposed.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
The other person has been exposed.
Yeah.
And as an artist, I think if you are holding that, how would that make you feel if you've kind of been exposed that actually what you've been, performing is not your 100% material?
Yeah.
But then on the other side, I suppose that, you would say that, well, you're at your own risk, because, one day somebody's probably going to say that, look,
they don't write their own bars.
that you don't write your own stuff.
But the thing is, though, like, half the music, we don't know who wrote it. There's people who are dedicated songwriters and will write a song, do a demo, and pass it to the artist. It happens all the time. I think with rap, it's a little bit more, you have to write your own bars.
It's a bit more personal to your character.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's a bit of a grey area, isn't it, really? Because why is it okay for songwriters to do that, or singers, but not rappers? And there's some big rap songs where I only just recently learned that it was wrote by someone else.
Same.
Like, oh, is it? Okay.
Same. I kind of seen that myself as well recently. And again, why would it be so different for somebody who's been on the production side of stuff, putting a different name behind it, and then actually it's Bob over there who's done it.
Happens a lot. Co-producers, ghost producers. I didn't know that was a thing till, well, a good few years ago, that you can actually get someone to ghost produce your music. I've worked with producers who've done that as well. Yeah.
And AI, this is like massive at the minute, obviously.
I love it.
You love it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, do you love it? So you said that you've loved it, or you love it. So first thing is that if somebody, so just say if you've made a track or you've put your own vocals out there, for instance, and then 2 weeks later you hear AI create something, but somewhere somebody's making kind of a financial gain on your expense almost through AI. Do you reckon going in the future, because I think it's it's moving very fast, but do you reckon there can be a lot of discrepancies, a lot of issues, and a lot of problems that are going to happen with that?
Yeah, I think it's already starting to happen. Big artists and their vocals or their voices being used to create songs, and people are putting it out there already. And I think there's been some type of lawsuit or whatever that's come about. I feel if someone's using your voice, that's your property, that's your instrument, that's you. So you should be getting paid for it. It's the same with creating a video, and someone takes your video and, I don't know, puts it on their YouTube channel but puts some new text on there, then that's, in a way, that's copyright, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
You should be earning some of that money too.
You should be. I think as an artist, if that was me, and either somebody's ripped me or AI's ripped me and somebody's used it in some kind of way, it would make me feel horrendous. And I think the reason is because so much heart and soul and passion goes into creating the stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's part of you, isn't it?
It's part of you. And I think it was even harder going back, 15, 20 years, where you say that technology was a little bit less, so you had to put more in almost.
Yeah.
There is some tools out there now that are helping us, which is great. Away from AI, I think it's more, don't know how you would say it is kind of AI, but it's more to help you create a certain sound, just say, or a tool that might tweak something a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But I think personally that would make me feel like I'd say, I think it happened with quite a well-known artist actually, who had is that who he was talking about?
Yeah.
Lawsuit.
Yeah.
And I think they'd won it, and then the person had said, right, okay, I'll go back into the game.
Yeah.
I'll go back into the game.
Yeah, AI is there. It's not going anywhere. So I think you have to embrace it.
Embrace it.
Yeah, definitely, because it's there to help. We jump in our car, we put the address in our sat nav, and we're not thinking for ourselves. So it's not any different, is it really?
I haven't thought about it in that way. So it is the same with all the smart tech we have as well.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
suppose.
Yeah. Smartphones.
You know, smart meter.
You're right.
What else is smart? Everything.
Everything's smart. And smartwatch.
Smart watch. Smart. They've made smart glasses now.
Have they?
Sunglasses. I don't know. It's like, I don't know what he's trying to do. Take a picture or something. I don't know. But
Crazy.
walk around streets like RoboCop, maybe.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Thank you so much for coming.
No problem at all. Glad to be here.
Absolute pleasure. And this is the first Dive Deep Wisdom podcast. So it's really, really great to have you on. And I'm sure we're going to be getting you on again.
Appreciate that.
And definitely getting some of your music on there as well. So anything you get, send it across.
Yeah.
And we can have a bit of a play as well. But I wanted to say thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Diving
Appreciate
deep with myself. And we will be back the following Saturday. And I'll give you all the information on the Instagram page, which is divedeep_wisdom. And you'll also see some information about the YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks as well. So you'll be able to see the visual version, but also you have the show here on Radio Facade 97.1 FM.